All right, welcome to our Tuesday night team call. Not every Tuesday anymore, but this Tuesday we had to do one because we had a really good topic. But before we dive into that, let's do a couple of really quick reminders. Don't forget that we are doing a book club every month. So if you want to join in on that, we're reading this book this month, Millionaire by Halftime. And the Zoom calls are every Thursday night for that, right?
Yes.
What else is going on this month?
Don't forget about our December contest.
Team contest.
Team contest, right.
Because there's also a corporate one.
True. So our personal team contest for December, earning points kind of set up same way as convention and leaders retreat contest, where you earn points for your PV and your new ambassadors and attending a Jewel-led meeting, which some of you in Boise were able to take advantage of last week, and it was off the chain. Amazing meeting. But yeah, don't forget about that one. It goes through December 31st, and then we'll be doing drawing pretty quickly for the Super Saturday viewing party and prizes and that fun stuff.
And a night's stay at a hotel and nice dinner. Yep, all that. And there's also the corporate contest going on. And there's also the Missions Impossible extravaganza, leaders extravaganza. Basically, if you work your business this month, you're going to have 3 ways you're getting rewarded on top of your normal commission check, just for doing the same thing. Get rewarded 4 times
than right now.
Yes. All right.
Awesome.
So how do we work our business? Christie Jacobson is going to school us a little bit tonight. I'm super excited to learn from her. She has been in this about the same amount of time John and I have. She joined Plexus just a few days after we did. And so she's coming up on 4 years, which is crazy. 4 years with Plexus.
You're getting old.
We're all wrong. And I just have been amazed at the incredible growth she's had in her business in the last several months. I think all of us, sometimes when we've been in it for a while, feel like get to places where we feel, that's right, he's got to take notes. Feel like we get to places where we feel stuck, or we're not really sure what to do next. And Christie has continued to innovate and find new things to do, and I just love that. She's always inspiring me to do better and be better. So super excited to hear from her. Take it away, Christie. Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. That was really nice of you. I'm excited to share some of the things that I have been learning about, and just really I'm excited because I've had an opportunity to just do a little bit of reflecting myself, and that has been really, really eye-opening for me too. So I'm going to start and just share some principles, and then I'm going to get in and just share some nuts and bolts of what my IPA looks like day in and day out. So if I look down, it's because I'm keeping on my notes, because I know you don't want to be here all night, and neither do I. But I could talk about Plexus all night, so I'm going to stay focused. So 4 years ago, Kathy mentioned that I did join them shortly after they joined. And I just want, my journey for me has been a journey of self-development and personal growth. And some of the things that I'm going to share with you tonight, I want to share a little bit about where I was at when I first started, so you can see where I'm at now. And so that maybe it'll give you hope too, if maybe you see parts of yourself in me. So 4 years ago, I was pretty, by nature, I like smaller groups. I would say I'm more of an introverted person. And I like being around people, but I just feel like, 3 or 4 people is kind of my strength. I remember a couple of years before Plexus, we had a wedding reception that we were going to. And my husband is the outgoing one in my family, or in the relationship. And he had said to me, he said, you go and you take Lizzie, she's my oldest daughter, with you. And I didn't like that idea, because I was like, oh, great, the 2 introverts going to this big social event. And I was like, not excited. And I remember standing in the line to, congratulate everybody, or the bride and the groom, and just feeling just so bad about myself because my daughter was clinging to me like, okay, mom, give me strength. I'm terrified to be here. And I was equally terrified to be there. Okay. I was like, and so that's really where I was at. So I share that to say, when I started Plexus, when I started posting on Facebook, I didn't normally post on Facebook. That was not my norm. Maybe I'd post once or twice a year. Okay. But to start posting regularly, that was out of my norm. And then I remember when I had someone who's like, tell me more about the products. What's going on? I was like, I messaged Kathy and I said, what do I say? And then after I said that, it was like, okay, now how do I carry on a conversation? Like I could carry on a conversation with people, but it was just, it has been a personal growth, a development, a process of personal growth and development for me, learning how to reach out, to connect, to make relationships, strengthen relationships. Okay. So just know that that's where I was at. And okay. So, another thing that I just want to mention, they always talk about what's your why? What's your why? Okay. And your why has to be strong enough to make you cry. Well, I got my products paid for, that I needed to do that. I earned a little extra money. That was great for my family. At the time when I first started, we needed that extra money and it was really helpful. My husband had just started a law practice and it wasn't really stable. Since then, it's grown and we are comfortable. We don't need that income that I'm bringing in. And so there have been times when it's gotten hard for me, when I've been stuck and I've said, why the heck am I doing this? Why? When I feel like I'm failing, when I see all the people around me flying to the top. I mean, there are people after 4 years of being in Plexus who are diamonds and I'm a senior gold. Okay. But I just had this, I just had this feeling like I wasn't supposed to quit, but I didn't entirely know why I was supposed to keep going. And so today, as I've been thinking about it, one of the things that I realized, well, let me tell you, some of the things that I've worried about is, in the religion that I'm Mormon, and we're very strong families, and the mom is at home, she's nurturing and caring for, and I've always had this business itch, and so I've always had that sense of guilt of, why am I focusing on Plexus if I don't need the money and it's taking time away from my kids? So that's been this big source of, one of the things that I realized just today as I was thinking about this is that there are lessons that in my journey of personal development and who I have become, I am a better wife, a better mom to my children. And so when my kids come to me and say, life is too hard, I want to give up, I can say, I understand. I've been there, but we don't give up. We don't quit. We just do it. We do it when we don't feel like doing it. Okay. There are days when I wake up and I'm like, I really don't want to work my Plexus business, but I do it anyways. And so when my kids come to me and they say, it's too hard, I can from experience say, I understand, I get it, but we do it whether or not we feel like it. And it was that kind of aha I was thinking about today. I was like, you know what? I can, because I've been in the trenches in a way that I hadn't been before, I can help my children because I want my children to do wonderful things in the world. So that was one of those ahas. Today I realized, okay, Christie, that's why. That's one of your whys, is so that you can be a better mom and so that you can help your children. So think about your whys. Okay, that's super duper important. So I'm almost there. I'm going to get into some nuts and bolts. They talk about those excuses. Just get rid of them. You just have to get rid of them. Everybody has a bazillion excuses, okay? It's going to be you don't have the time to do it. You don't have the skills to do it. Your upline doesn't know what they're doing. They're not supportive. I'm not saying I was thinking of that, of you guys, but we did jump in. I know. It's like they didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing, okay? Unmute yourself. Come back, John. So we all have these excuses. I'm not getting the support. I'm not smart enough, whatever it is. Ditch the excuses. earlier this fall, there was this group. It's called Hawaii Hustlers, and I'm a part of this group. And it was there were emeralds, diamonds, people sharing their stories initially. And I remember listening to a couple of ladies. I can't even remember their names. Both of them were emeralds. One of them hadn't even graduated from high school. Okay, she got her GED, but okay, but she's an emerald and total go-getter. Another lady, she had been a drug addict, and it really had some tough things happening in her life. And I listened to their stories, and they were so inspirational. And I thought to myself, wait a second, Christie, if they can be successful with this, why can't you? What is stopping you? Okay. And so I realized, why not me? Why can I not be successful? I am stopping myself from being successful. And so ditch the excuses, work hard, and just have a mentality of learning. We have so many resources, YouTube, okay? So just always be learning. And then the other thing that has been so huge for me is mindset. When I first started with Plexus, I was like, this is so weird, so hokey, so dumb. But I have been really serious. I got the Think Up app. And so I put in my affirmations, and I'll listen to them morning and night, all the time, but often throughout the day. And I also have affirmations about myself personally, about my relationship with my husband, with my kids. Like, I am thinking, my mind is opening up. Like, I believe it just makes such a difference. It really, really does. So get the app, read that book, What to Say When You Think to Yourself, and really take it to heart, because the things that I'm going to share with you, if you're not ditching your excuses and if you're not working on your mindset, then it doesn't matter what I share with you at this point on out, because those things are really, really pivotal. So there we go. Now to get into some of the nitty gritty stuff. So about 6 months into my journey, my network, my warm network, just kind of dried up. Like, I didn't have anybody who was contacting me and messaging me and saying, tell me about Plexus. And so I did all kinds of crazy stuff that some worked a little bit, some didn't work. Most of it didn't work. And so with this Hawaii Hustlers group that I was in, one of the things that they talked about doing was expanding your network through Facebook groups. Okay. So basically what that means is you find a group that resonates with you. So for me, I'm a mom, I homeschool. I've got kids, I've got big families. I like health and nutrition. So those were the types of groups that I looked for. And I looked for groups that were like 800 or less. So you want smaller groups. You don't want groups that have 10,000 or 40,000 people, because the goal is to be able to connect with some of these people in these groups. And so one thing that I would do is I would find a group, and then I would do like an introductory post, like, a picture of me and my family and just a little bit about me, and say I'm super excited to be in this group. And then I would post in the groups a couple of times a week, and, try to interact and comment on the posts, be really interactive to kind of, start to be known. Okay. And then I would friend people, send people friend requests, and not everybody would accept it. But for those people who would, I would mention, I'd say, hey, thanks so much for, connecting with me. I've loved this group. It seems like a great group. I would tell them a little bit about me, just we're talking 3 or 4 sentences is all this little introductory is. And then I'll look at their profile and I'll say, hey, I'll look for something that I can connect with them about and ask them a question. My goal is to carry on a conversation, kind of start to get to know them. And so I would
Christy, real quick, when you said you posted a couple times in the group, like your introductory posts and other things, did you ever mention Plexus, or were you
No,
just talking about whatever was in that group? Okay.
no plexus. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, no plexus. And also too, I would try to be really, really conscientious about my wall, my Facebook wall, and I no plexus graphics. And in fact, I would even try to like sometimes not even mention plexus in my plexus post. Like for example, if I post a picture of my kids and I'm, make a comment about I'm so excited that I can, I've got energy to chase my kids around. I don't say anything about plexus. I just hint at it because I don't want them to look at my wall and say, oh, it's just a network marketing company. I don't want to have anything to do with her. Okay. And so anyways, so we'd carry on this conversation. I would like and comment on their stuff and just really try to develop a relationship. So that's one way that I would start to do it. Another way that I have found to be really successful, if you find people who need the products, then when you reach out to them about it, they're more likely to jump on. And so if you find groups that are holistic groups, or maybe, they're migraine groups or whatever, well, migraines are a little tricky unless you have migraines. If you have migraines, but just find like a holistic group, do the same kind of a thing. But then you can, after you've been on there interacting and stuff, send friend requests to people, do the same type of thing. But if you find like a group that has health issues, people in there are suffering, that way you can take notes on them. And then when you reach out to them, that they're more likely than whereas if it's just a mom and you don't know whether or not they have a health issue. So that's one thing that I've been doing to build my network. So my goal is to make 80 to 100 new friends, like friend requests every month. And every month, I just, I send out the requests when someone starts to carry on a conversation. I add them to my list. So for example, this December, I have a December connections list. November, I had a November connections list. October, I had an October connections list. So I make this list, and then I am good about like commenting on their stuff, on their own wall, just building that relationship, so that I do that for about a month. And then the next month I send them a message, and it's pretty much the same message. I'll tweak it a little bit. I'm going to give it to you here. There's a couple of different messages that I like to send. And I got these messages from Emily Gibson, so I can't really claim them. But a couple of the messages, hey, I don't know if you saw what I was talking about the other day, but I was really struggling with a few things. And I found this thing called, I found this thing that has helped me. It's called Plexus. Have you heard of it? Super, super simple. Not a big old long thing. You just want to ask a question. Another one that I'll often do is, I don't know if you've seen my Facebook posts, but I'm so excited because I've never felt this good in my life. There's this thing that I've been using called Plexus. I can't believe vitamins have made me feel this good. Have you heard of it before? Super simple, super short. Send them that message. Typically what I like to do, because it's just that cut and paste, I will try to do like 20 in a week. So like December this month, I'm sending that message to people from November, last month, my November connections. And then I'll get some response. And then in a few days, in about 3 days, for those people who have not responded, I'll send them another message. Okay. And this is the message that I will send up, or I'll follow up with. I'll say, hey, I know you're so busy, but I was wondering if you saw my message from the other day. Okay. And so for the people who didn't respond, I get a few more that'll respond that way. Okay. Sometimes if it's like the right person, and I'm really curious, I'll send a third message 3 days later. And this is if someone I really developed a good relationship with them. If it's someone that I haven't developed a really great relationship, I don't always do this. But the message is this. hey girl, I know I've reached out to you a couple of times already. It's just because I'm so passionate about helping people with these products. If I've offended you in any way, I'm so sorry. I absolutely did not mean to do that. When you say, I'm so sorry, I hope I haven't offended you, people are like, oh, no, you didn't offend me. Okay, so they want to assure you. So then I'll get a few more people responding that way. So what do you do? So then I keep track of the people who respond to me. I've got a list, and this is all on a spreadsheet on Excel. I have a follow-up list. So whenever someone says, what's Plexus, tell me about it, I'll give them a little cut and paste blurb, and then I'll always ask them, and it's really pretty short. And then I'll say, hey, do you have any health issues? Do you have any health goals? Or, so I put those people on that follow-up list. And one of the things I want to share, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. One of the things that in this Hawaii Hustlers group, Tara Berger, she's a diamond, she gave this example. She talked about this Rodan and Fields girl, okay? And it just really, the story brought everything together for me. So Tara is a diamond. At the time that this girl contacted her, Tara was a diamond, okay? The girl was not contacting her to join her team or anything like that. She was contacting her about the products. So the first time the girl contacts her, Tara is like, just didn't even respond, okay? But the girl sent a message 3 days later and said, hey, did you see my message? So then she responded, okay? And she's like, no, I've just been really busy. Thanks for thinking of me. I'm not really interested. And so the girl was totally cool. She's like, oh, totally understand. She's like, I know you would love these products. I'm your girl, let me know, or I'm your girl, down the road if you change your mind. Then a month later, the girl, just checks in. And all the while, this girl is commenting, loving on Tara's stuff. It doesn't faze her. It wasn't she didn't say yes to my product and so she's done. She's just loving on her, just being genuine, caring about her. So a month later, the girl pops in and says, hey, just thinking about you. I noticed X, Y, and Z, with your kids, something really, really short. But she's like, it was just a little reminder. Don't know if you've thought about, Rodan and Fields, but, when you want to try it, I'd love to help you. Okay. And Tara said she had tons of people in her news feed that were posting and sharing stuff. So she's seeing all kinds of stuff about Rodan and Fields, but this is the girl that followed up. And so a month down the road after that, she's like, you know what? I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii. I actually do want to get some stuff. And so that was the girl that she reached out to, not the friends that had been posting all kinds of stuff. It was the girl who reached out to her and said, hey, I'm your girl. And was so professional about it. So that to me was like, aha. So when people say no to me about Plexus, I'm like, oh, no worries. I know it's a timing. I just know it's a timing thing. So I keep loving on them. If it's someone that I really know they could really benefit, I keep them on my hot list or my follow-up list. I keep them on my list, like my connections list. Anyways, so another thing that I've been doing that has been super awesome. Christie Jacobson, she's an emerald. And I noticed one time that she had this Facebook group. And so I asked her if I could join it and she added me to it. Anyways, and so she just posts, it's a group for like her ambassadors, her prospects, that kind of a thing. And she posts in there about Plexus, like, once or twice a day, maybe. Sometimes she skips a few days. Anyways, and so I had created a group like this a couple of years ago, and I just thought I should really go back and do that because I'm following up with people. I'm reaching out to people. But if I had a group like this that I could then put them into, then they could start seeing all the testimonials in it, and I wouldn't have to necessarily follow up with testimonials specifically. So I did that. I think it was last month that I did that. And holy cow, like it has been awesome. So when I have people that say, yeah, tell me a little bit about Plexus, I'll give them some information. I'll ask them some questions, figure out what their goals are, carry on a conversation, that kind of a thing. But then I say, hey, I've got this informational group. I share testimonials, product information. There's no pressure. Do you want me to add you to it? So that way you can learn too. And they're almost always like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And then I can see what they're following along in. And if I know, okay, so she's struggling with depression, I can add some depression testimonials there. Or, oh, someone's, struggling with psoriasis, I'll add a psoriasis testimonial. And it's just gotten to be like people are like, just the other day, today, someone was like, okay, tell me about how does this help with anxiety again? And this was just a girl who was really kind of quiet. Like I'd reached out to her and she's like, I've never heard of Plexus. I don't really have any health struggles. And so I just asked her as a follow-up even, I said, hey, I've got this. Actually, what I did was I added her to my group because she was kind of, didn't commit to having health issues, but didn't not commit either. And so as a follow-up, I added her to my group and I said, hey, I've got this informational group, added you to it. If it's not something you're interested in, just take yourself out of it. No worries, that kind of thing. So she's been following along. Anyways, she just messaged in the group today. She's like, so how do these products help with anxiety? And so I hopped on over and tagged her on a couple of things, but then I've been messaging her back and forth. So it's just a great way to like trickle that information to people in a really low pressure kind of a way. The other thing that I've been doing with it, which has been really, really good. This is the thing that I got from Christie, was she just, yes, Linda, in the group, you can list, because it's private, you can talk about, fibromyalgia, the disease names, and you can be a little bit more free in the groups because it's private. Okay. So in these groups, I've added all of my ambassadors to it, and I've told them, you can add your customers to it. You can add your potentials to it. One thing that I'm going to be doing once or twice a month, I'm going to see how it goes, is I'm going to do an event within that group too. And so just a really, just posting products. This is what Christie does. She just posts information. It's about a half an hour event. And then I'm going to have like some prizes associated with that group, kind of like we do with the 7-day challenge. Like, anybody who orders, like $75 worth of products as a customer gets into a drawing for 2 giveaways of $10 off or something like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the ambassadorship, the $34.95. Anybody who joins as an ambassador goes into this drawing. You have to do it within 3 days of the close of this event. And I'm going to have anybody who's in there, like my ambassadors and their people, they're going to join too, or they're going to be able to participate into that too. Anyways, so that's another thing that I've been doing. Let me see if there's anything else. I feel like I've kind of been hopping around. Does anybody have any questions about that so far?
I just have to say, I don't think that you're hopping around. I feel like you've explained things very chronologically.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay.
And by an event in the group, are you talking about doing
okay, just a couple of...
Oh, sorry. Sorry, we have a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
I think.
So basically it's...
Like, are you talking about like a Facebook Live within the group, and that would be the event? Or like you would do a Zoom and invite people to it, or you'd create a separate event page?
It's super simple. Like, I'm just following what Christie did. And it's just, she has like 10 or 11 posts. They're just about the products. It's just posting. And she posts them every 5 minutes. And so, and I watched her, it's the same, she changes the graphics, but they're the same information. It's the same, post. It's, just like just informational posts about, gut health and then the products. And so I think the idea in my mind is kind of to commit people to say, okay, I'm going to be here at this time. And then there's going to be a giveaway associated with that. And so even if people can't be there, then they can still go back, read through this stuff, and then there's this incentive to, hey, purchase. And if you do it within this time frame, then you could potentially, get something free or something like that. So I think that's the idea behind it. Let's see. As far as like my IPA is concerned, one of the things that I found from Emily Gibson that I love, 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 she talked about you have to work your business first. And I found it's really easy to get into management mode. You get a few ambassadors on your team and you're like, okay, I'm going to help them and then they'll help me. It's really important to help them. But you always need to be getting new ambassadors because you have to grow. The quickest way to stall out is to stop growing and just, pour into your ambassadors. Your business has to continually grow. And so I love what Emily Gibson talks about. She says that she always works her business first. So she gets ready for the day, gets her kids off to school. She has breakfast. She has a period of time where she sits down. When she sits down to work her business, she doesn't respond to everybody who's messaged her. She reaches out to those people, maybe for her, it's 5 people a day. For me, like I said, I do my 20 to 25 a week. So you do that, reaching out, you do your follow-ups, you do your connecting with people. She says that she does 3-way chats. Her team is really big and they connect into 3-way chats a lot. She does those. So that's working her business. And then she'll do a Facebook post. She'll post in her team page. But that's what she does. Okay. And then she goes and she leaves it and she does other stuff. And then maybe she'll come back in the afternoon and she'll do that same kind of a thing. Okay. But she's answering questions from her team and stuff. That's at the end of her working her business. So I love that. I just love that. So the other thing that I just want to share that I am working on, those are things that I have been doing and I am seeing the fruits of that. Like my funnel is full of people. Last year, I just kind of said in my mind, my mindset was people are spending their money on Christmas. They don't have time. They don't have money for this. And so I'm going to hit it the beginning of the new year. But you know what? My funnel, when January rolled around, my funnel of people, it was empty. And so nothing happened in January. And I had a little bit in February. It wasn't until about March when my funnel was full that I started to see things. So I want to tell you, people are looking for help right now. So start developing your relationships right now. Start connecting right now, so that your funnel is full of people that you've been developing those relationships with, so that come January, you can really start to reach out to. If you feel like your funnel is full, maybe you're one of those people that you haven't been, messaging people, but you've been making connections and you've got lots of wonderful connections. Then maybe your funnel is full. And if that's the case, I would say shoot out those messages right now, just so that people know you're open for business and that you can help them because they're thinking about it. Okay. The last thing that I just want to share really quickly, just to talk about duplication and onboarding people. This is an idea that I got from Brooke Hemingway, and I just love her. The things that she shares are just so duplicatable. They resonate with me. So she talks about getting in there and helping that new ambassador get started with the business, and really doing it for them, because you've got a lot of people who are like, I don't want to have anything to do with the business. I'm not interested in the business. And so what you can do is you can say, hey, I know you're not interested in the business, but I know that there are people in your network who are suffering, who could really benefit from the products. Would you share my story? Would you share that on social media? Just post about it. And then if anybody is interested, then I'll talk to them and I'll share. But you can just connect them with me in a 3-way chat. Okay. So I love that she does that. And then, when she gets a new ambassador, one thing that she does is that I love you, sweetie. Are you heading to bed? Yes, you need to head to bed. It's late. This is going to be short. So one thing that she does is that she connects. So she's got a level 1. And so if that level 1 shares, okay, with someone, or maybe she does post on Facebook and she has someone who's interested and they're connected in that 3-way chat, she uses that 3-way chat to reach down to those people. And so for example, let's say she has a level 1 who's not interested in the business. Then she reaches down, but they're connected into a 3-way chat, and that level 1 has connected her with that level 2. So she does the same things with that level 2. She treats them just like a level 1, encourages them to share her story. She encourages them to send messages, to think about a couple of people who could really benefit from these products, and she gives them the verbiage to send to them. And so she calls it taprooting. She has a great call. It's getting late and I won't go into all of it. She'll do it much more justice than me, but it's called, Onboarding by Brooke Hemingway. It's a call that she did for somebody else. But if you just do a YouTube search, that's something that I am working on doing, because I know that I need to really, really, really help my level 1s. These people that I'm getting on, I need to help them reach out to their friends. I need to help them send messages and post on Facebook. I need to give them the verbiage, and then I need to have them connect me in a 3-way chat with these people so that I can carry on that dialogue and so that I can help them. Because once they get this vision of, oh, wow, I'm helping people and that feels good. And oh, wow, I've got, I made $100 extra bucks or $175. Then often they'll open their mind and eyes to what's going on. So that's a little bit of what I have done and has been successful, and what I'm working on really trying to get better at. I know it's going to work. I just need to, my mindset has to wrap around it, and I need to work out some of those bugs. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Anywho, there we go. That's what I've been doing.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. So Linda asked you, where do you find that many new people to add each month? So correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, like you said, you're joining various groups that may have anywhere from 100 to 800 people in it. You're posting like a welcome post. Here's who I am. I'm excited to be part of this group. As people comment and stuff on your post, or maybe like, here's my thought. If I joined a holistic mamas group, and I were to post because I actually did this recently. I joined this holistic mamas group. I haven't been utilizing it the way I should be. You really helped me understand how to better utilize these groups I'm in. But I've gotten a bad sinus infection. It was the first sinus infection I've had in 4 years on Plexus, which is amazing because I used to get 2 to 3 at least a year. And I had a really bad one, and I did not want to go to the doctor and get on antibiotics. So I posted in that group, hey, here's what I've already done. I've done essential oils. I've been taking a good probiotic. I've been doing steam baths. Like, what else do you guys do to help for sinus infections? And then I had all these comments on there. So if I was looking to add 80 people a month, I should have thanked each person who took time to comment, maybe had a back and forth conversation with them in the comments, and then sent them a friend request. And I can see then how you would come up with 80 a month if you were posting within those groups and trying your best to connect with people who commented on your post. Or if you commented on somebody's post and they commented back a time or two, go ahead and friend request them. Is that kind of, do I have that right?
Yes. And you kind of have to get a feel for, what feels good for you. I mean, obviously there's going to be a little bit of, I'm sending a friend request to somebody and I really don't know them. What are they going to think? So there's a little bit of that where you're a little bit nervous about it. But once you start doing it, when I send, okay, so let me give you an example. So I send about 20 friend requests, and I would say maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 will accept it. Okay. And then my little message of, let's say 10 people accepted it, maybe 5 will actually respond to my message. Okay. But I put all of those people that accepted my friend request into my funnel, and I'm going to I'm going to comment on their stuff, not just like it. I'm looking for ways to comment on their stuff that not like goofy, but like that I'm really trying to interact and develop a relationship. And anytime you can do that, like maybe I see, a picture of someone's cute grandkids, and I'll just say, your grandkids are so cute, and I'll comment that on the post. And then I can send them a message and say, I just saw that post, with your grandkids. They're so cute. How many grandkids do you have? I can't wait to be a grandma. It must be so much fun, to try to get that dialogue going. Anyway, so that's definitely, your example is perfect. Anytime I can naturally in my everyday life put a question like that, that's fantastic. And sometimes, honestly, if I'll scope out their profiles too. I'm not going to just send a friend request to whoever. I look and I think to myself, you can see a lot from their profile. If it's someone who looks like a fun person or someone that you would resonate with, send it. But if it's someone you're like, oh, I don't really want to be friends with them, don't send them a friend request. Okay. You really are looking to develop relationships with these people, And so sometimes I found some really good groups, and I'll just like send them a friend request, even if I haven't interacted with them. I do find that if I have interacted with them, then they're more likely to accept my friend request. Okay. Anyway, so that's just kind of, yeah.
That's awesome. And I love how you just laid out all the steps, because I feel like it's one thing to go out. If you randomly go out and join groups about things that you're not passionate about, you're not going to be able to connect well with people. You've got, I love how you said, first I thought to myself, well, who am I? What do I like? What are things I'm passionate about? And then I love, even if you find the right groups, if you're like me and you go in and occasionally comment or occasionally ask a question, but you don't actually make an intention to connect with people, then you've wasted that opportunity. And then if you follow that step and you make it to the point where you actually are adding 60 to 80 people a month, you're adding friend requests, but you're never looking for ways to intentionally connect with them, they're more than likely not even seeing any of your posts about Plexus anyway, because of all the new algorithms. I feel like hardly anybody sees anything anymore. So unless you're having those personal message conversations and you are commenting intentionally on their things and genuinely building a relationship, it's not going to be effective. It really does take the follow through of all those. And so I love how you pointed that out, that this is not something where you say, I'm going to start connecting with people this week, and by next week, I'm going to start having customers and ambassadors. And I think sometimes when corporate puts out big promotions like the one that's going on this month, which is so awesome with cash and everything, it makes me sometimes realize I didn't put in the prep work in the previous 2 months to capitalize on that. And now I'm going, crud, why didn't I have more in my funnel so that when the opportunity came along, I could capitalize on it? So I love how you pointed that out too about, January. January through May tends to be the biggest growth time for our business every year. But if you don't have anything leading up to that, you're missing half or more of that time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is definitely, and don't send them a friend request and then have a conversation and then immediately ask them about Plexus. Don't do that. I really just, don't do that. Continue to develop that relationship. And I do feel like there are some people that I feel like have said no because there wasn't a relationship that was strong enough there. And so that's really important. That's something that I've learned, to be patient with that.
Yeah. And I love too how you talked about being very intentional with your Facebook page, your personal page, so that as these people you're adding these people, you're thinking to yourself, what does my page look like to somebody who's never met me before? What does my page say about me? Is the first thing they see when they get on my page is me complaining about this and complaining about this and complaining about this? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Does it show the things I'm passionate about? Does it say something about who I am? You know, is it just plexus, 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 plexus? And then they go, never mind, delete your friend request.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's super important. In fact, just today, I was connecting with some really fun ladies, and I had just put a post up, and it was a good post, but I thought I took it down because I was like, it was just my little girl, but I was talking about, it was plexus. And I just thought, I don't want that to be the first thing they see because I have not been posting as much because of the algorithms. And so I just thought, I'm going to wait on that one, you know, so.
Yeah, that's smart. Very good. Because most people, that's what I always think to myself too when I'm making a post, but also when people tag me in a lot of posts, sometimes I'll think most people, if they're going to look at your profile for the first time, are only going to maybe look at the first 3 to 4 posts. So even especially like after a Plexus event, I love Plexus events, and I know Plexus or Facebook automatically tags you and stuff, but sometimes I'll look and suddenly there's 12 posts in a row, all of me at this one event. And I think if somebody were to hop on, they think that's my whole life, and that's not my whole life, and it might be a real turnoff. And so I'll go back through and untag myself, maybe in all of them except one post, or maybe just leave up the post I personally made, but untag myself from the rest so that, so that people are seeing more of a variety on my wall, my kids, my gardening, my dance, my fitness, you know, all the different things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I've actually done is on my timeline, I've set it so that I have to allow the tags or not because of that very same reason. Just because you just have to be, you just don't want to be plexus with this. And so, yeah. Awesome.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's so interesting. It's so different from the way we would have trained 4 years ago. A lot of things have changed just in social media landscape in general and in the way that works and runs. And so, like you said, we always have to keep learning and growing. And so I just really appreciate all the growth that you personally have done and then being willing to share that with all of us so that we can grow along too and get better at what we're doing and hopefully change a lot of lives. I mean, and I love that this is all about real connections and real relationships because, like you said, there's still going to be days that you wake up and you don't want to work your business, that you just don't feel like it or you're distracted or there's other things you want to do. But when it comes down to just building genuine relationships with people, that's fun. I mean, who doesn't want to have some more fun friends and some more people in your life that you feel like you've impacted them and they've impacted you? Everybody would love to do that. And so I feel like if you can approach it from that mindset, like you said, the mindset. I loved Helen or Sheila, I think it was Helen, who talked about like instead of, actually I don't think she said this, but this is what I wrote down personally, like what I took away was instead of like counting all my goals by how many ambassadors I added or how many customers I added or what my PV was, I'm going to reflect at the end of each month, how many lives have I touched this month because of my Plexus business? And it doesn't always mean that they even ordered that month, but how many lives have I impacted for good? And if I think if I'm measuring my goals that way, how much joy will I find in what I'm doing?
Yes. And that's important too. I really appreciate you bringing that out because I do have like a systematic way of doing it and keeping track of it, but I do remember that these are individual people. And honestly, it's that remembering that is kind of like that fuel because, you know, like that one girl who was struggling with anxiety, you know, she was not friendly, you know, when I initially reached out to her. But I just, you know, it's because I know she needs these products. And she told me today, she's like, I've been struggling with anxiety and depression for 15 years. Yeah, it's not something she wants to talk to somebody about all the time. But when she was in my group and saw me posting, and it will, like, I know it gave her hope, you know, like, wow, maybe my life could be different than it is right now, you know? And so it's remembering those lives. Yeah, totally. Anyways.
Love it. Thank you so much. Okay, did you have anything else you want to add before I stop the recording? Because